Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Chapter 72. Date of return. Post-mission report regarding the nine-tailed fox and the devil seed. Persons involved. First Class Exorcist Xiang Cheng, First Class Yao Subduing Engineer Zhi Ziaduo. Investigation result. In the process of the fight, a special grade alarm was triggered, involving tens of thousands of people. The Longting Lake in Kaifeng has been temporarily closed. The organization's official response. Deliver news with widespread influenza exploding across Kaifeng in Henan as the headline to the various TV and radio stations. Persons involved in the cleanup must control their usage of Lihan pollen to a practical level. ******. On the banks of the Yellow River, the banners and pennants fluttered in the wind. The roaring water that came crashing through the bottleneck upstream brought chunks of ice with it as it raced towards the east. In a villa of the Henan Regional Exorcism Committee, Xiang Cheng had been tied with a ceiling rope to a chair. His hair was wild and tangled, and under his deep-set eyes were dark patches of green from a lack of sleep. His eyes were bloodshot. The door opened, and Lin Yura walked in. Two people were standing guard outside. Lin Yura sat down behind the desk, and Xiang Cheng looked up, looking in Lin Yura's direction. "Let's talk, Ba," Lin Yura said. "I never thought that the hatred you held for us ran so deep." Xiang Cheng was silent. ******. In another villa, Zhi Ziaduo lay quietly on the sofa. He had sunk into a deep sleep as dancing flames burned away in the fireplace. Chen Zhen, Kita, and Zhou Wanyuan each sat in one corner of the living room, boneless with exhaustion. Kita was toying with a lighter. Zhou Wanyuan asked, "Are you sure? With the old Buddha's orders, what option do we have?" Chen Zhen replied. Kita said, "The blame for this matter falls on me." "No, it's my fault," Chen Zhen said. Kita, Ziaduo didn't say anything, probably because he was afraid that we'd confiscate Xiang Cheng's family heirloom. That, instead, forced him onto Mara's side instead. "I was the one who misjudged the situation, but if you had me do things all over again, I would still do the same thing," Chen Zhen replied. "Xiang Cheng is very unstable, just like a ticking bomb. The only option is to completely wipe it clean and start over from the beginning." Zhou Wanyuan asked, "Since you like to accept blame so much, why don't you go next door and take the blame for this?" "I want to," Chen Zhen said, "but can I afford to? The nine-tailed fox has been hoping to use the enmity between us and Xiang Cheng from the very beginning to call out his heart devil, then bring him to the sacred land." In the interrogation room, Lin Yura looked at Xiang Cheng, who did not speak for a long time. "I greatly admire your bravery," Lin Yura said. "You are just like your father. You have a sense of duty and you dare to act. I thought that from the moment Zhi Ziaduo broke through the nine-tailed fox's illusion, you would take the chance to leave and never return." "Love gave me courage," Xiang Cheng said solemnly, "just like it did with my parents." "Do you think that the emotions that ran between your parents were nothing but pure love? Let me tell you the truth. Your mother was simply using your father," Lin Yura said. "Do you know why the organization wanted to split up your parents?" "Not only split up," Xiang Cheng said mildly. "You killed her." "I had no choice but to act. I do not know how they fell in love, but according to Zhou Mokuo's report, your father met her during one of his missions to exterminate a devil," Lin Yura said mildly. "That's right, I do have to add, Xiang Jianhua was the exorcist with the greatest potential in Zhou Mokuo's generation. Losing him was truly distressing for us." Xiang Cheng watched Lin Yura's face. Her expression was the same as always, without joy or sorrow, as if such matters could not touch her. ******. The flames in the fireplace leapt and danced. Kita said to Chen Zhen, "What exactly was this fox trying to do, having gone to such lengths?" "For the devil seed in his body," Chen Zhen replied. He wanted to use the enmity between us and Xiang Cheng to nurture that seed, which would cause the boss snake to be completely blackened and return under Mara's command. If it were not for Zhi Xiaoduo, Xiang Cheng would, in the end, go wild and under the nine-tailed fox's control, kill all of us. Kita said, now, we've brought the people back, taken care of the matter, and also gotten rid of the Yao. What else are they trying to do? The matter hasn't been settled yet, Chen Zhen said. The devil seed will never be able to be eliminated. It has always been inside Xiang Cheng's soul. Then what can we do? Zhou Wanyuan frowned. Chen Zhen fell silent for a long time. Asterisk. Xiang Cheng suddenly spoke. I know. She wanted to bring me to the Yao tribe. Were you willing to go? Lin Yura asked with a lift of an eyebrow. Half of you is Yao, and the other half is human. After your mother gave birth to you, the boss snake's main soul transferred into your body and will keep you company for the rest of your life. There is no way to remove it. The year that you turned 7, Lin Yura said, do you remember your mother leaving? Xiang Cheng did not reply. Lin Yura continued, her true identity was that of the divine maiden who would give birth to generation after generation of Mara. She sleeps deep in the forest, and every 1,000 years she would wake up. As for the process of Mara's gestation, 2 conditions need to be met, one is the presence of the snake Han in the earth vein, and the other is the devil seed that must be gathered from the air. And saying this, Lin Yura opened the bag, placing that carving in front of Xiang Cheng. The carving was of a snake who was coiling around a naked woman. The snake Han requires 1,000 years to be born once, and the same amount of time is required to make the necessary preparations for harvesting the devil seed. Once the snake Han and the devil seed merge, they will give rise to a new Mara, and each generation of Mara will, according to the 1,000-year cycle, be annihilated, only to be reborn. Thus, the cycle continues. Xiang Cheng sucked in a deep breath. He was trembling slightly. Lin Yura continued. She woke up 30 years earlier than the agreed upon time, and after awakening, she got to know your father, thus causing her snake Han to leave with her child, which became you. But very quickly, she found that Mara and all of the Yaogwai of the sacred land were searching for her. That was why the year you turned 7, she stole 2 artifacts of your father's, the moon eclipse bow and the great sun ring, and returned to Mara's side. With that, your father lost 2 family heirlooms, and he had no choice but to pass the devil subduing staff and the Yao binding rope into your hands. Mara used its own power to corrupt the other 2 artifacts in preparation to deal with us humans. Mara gave the most primordial devil seed in its body to her, to induce a pregnancy in her, Lin Yura said. But the snake Han was no longer in her body. Mara was not aware of that, and planted the devil seed in her body. Another 7 years passed before she brought it back and placed it in you. Your mother hid this from all of us, Lin Yura said coldly. Even the organization could not find the whereabouts of the devil seed. She moved the devil seed across oceans and continents, and the reason Wang Lei had remained concealed in the association for these past few years was for the sake of investigating this matter. Wang Lei read through all of the association's reports, coming to the conclusion that back in that day, the nine-tailed fox had known. Then, after taking a portion of your memories from back then, he pieced together the entire story. Right now, the snake Han and the devil seed are both in your body. Everything has fallen into alignment, and once the snake Han and the devil seed merge fully, you will shed your current physical form and become the new Mara. That fox has already induced your devil seed to sprout, but because it fell a step short, it was not able to completely awaken the devil seed's power. In the beginning, we thought that the devil seed was in your mother's body, Lin Yura said. For the sake of world peace, we split up your father and mother, and we killed her. I am very sorry, and right here and now, I would like to speak on behalf of all of my colleagues who took part in the Battle of Ba Mountain and give you a sincere apology. Xiang Cheng watched Lin Yura, who continued speaking. Mara's subordinates, that endless group of Yao and devils who couldn't be fully wiped out, have never given up on their plan to invade the human realm. In these 1,000 years, they have killed 1,493 of our colleagues. 1,130,000 citizens' families have been torn apart because of Mara's existence, and have subsequently vanished. That is why I have never regretted my own actions, and I imagine that your father is the same, Lin Yura said, studying Xiang Cheng. In the Battle of Ba Mountain, our companions also paid a bitter price. Your father's 3 Hun and 7 Po, because he coupled with your mother, were poisoned with the Ba snake's venom. That was incurable, and in the end, his Hun Po scattered, and he died. Xiang Cheng's pupils contracted swiftly, and a scene flashed through his mind. Before his father died, he had run a high fever, and in the end, dazedly lost consciousness. Xiaoduo, Xiang Cheng suddenly said. Thankfully, Xiaoduo has none of your poison in his body, Lin Yura said. When you two were interacting, the Ba snake hadn't been corrupted yet, so you can rest a little more easily. Xiang Cheng nodded and said, Thank you. You're welcome, Lin Yura said. With that, I've said all that I should. What else would you like to know? Nothing, Xiang Cheng replied. Xiang Cheng and Lin Yura looked silently into each other's eyes. Why did you tell me these things? Xiang Cheng asked. You could have said nothing and moved directly to killing me with the golden light of blazing flames. ******. What exactly does the old Buddha want to do? Kita asked. Chen Zhen replied, Don't ask. Let's begin, everyone. Zhou Wanyuan said, Are we not saying goodbye to Xiaoduo? That's too cruel to him. Chen Zhen replied easily, There's no need. To him, this is a good thing. Even this can be fucking counted as a good thing, Kita shook his head helplessly. From her bag, Zhou Wanyuan pulled out a vinyl record and handed it to Kita. Kita tore open the packaging, only to find that it was Beethoven's Sonata Pathetic, third movement. Living out a calm, peaceful life, Chen Zhen said, shrugging, living your daily life, loving whoever you want, isn't that a good thing? I want this kind of life, but it's not something I can have. Kita placed the vinyl record on an old gramophone. It was then that he paused in his movements, looking towards Chen Zhen. I feel like you should go see a therapist, Kita murmured to himself. You're under too much stress. Zhou Wanyuan's mouth dropped open in astonishment. Chen Zhen waved a hand, saying, I really don't need to. What joys and sorrows of reunion and separation, what love, hate, or deep grudges, all of those vanish with a sniff of Lihan pollen. I'm a rational person. Let's begin. What about Xiang Cheng? Kita asked. Is the old Buddha planning to imprison him for life? Chen Zhen replied, She promised me that within the next 5 years, she would arrange it so that Xiang Cheng would return to Zhi Xiaoduo's side, even if that means the issue will not be resolved. Sunlight came pouring in from outside. Xiang Cheng and Lin Yura held each other's gazes for a long time. The organization does not plan on killing you, Lin Yura said. Because if we kill you, the devil seed will not dissipate, and the snake Hun will simply leave your body, thus causing an even bigger problem. Xiang Cheng stared at Lin Yura, who turned her head aside awkwardly, avoiding his gaze. We will instead use a method to temporarily seal away your snake Hun, Lin Yura said. And then you'll lock me up for the rest of my life, Xiang Cheng said. Lin Yura corrected him. We'll lock you up until we find a way to deal with the devil seed. It's very fair, Xiang Cheng said. I was the one who wanted to come back of my own accord, so naturally, I will allow you all to deal with me as you see fit. Lin Yura stood up and glanced at Xiang Cheng, before saying, Then let's do this. Zhi Xiaoduo's memories will be erased and he will be sent back to where he should be, so that he can love an ordinary person's life. Can you let me see him once more? Xiang Cheng asked. Let him go, Ba, Lin Yura said reservedly. What is there that cannot be let go of? The longer you live, the more you will understand that all mortal matters must be let go of. Reunions and partings are no more than fleeting clouds in your vision. The vinyl record spun slowly on the machine, and a stream of swift notes flew out of it. Zhi Xiaoduo quivered slightly, as if he was waking from his dream, yet in the end, he did not open his eyes. His metal ring was placed on the coffee table, and as he slept on, his ring finger trembled slightly and his eyelashes quivered. Chen Zhen studied Zhi Xiaoduo's sleeping face. Neither Keaton nor Zhou Wanyuan made a sound, quietly watching Zhi Xiaoduo. There was a knock from outside. Chao Ben twisted the handle. He opened the door and stood on guard by it. Lin Yura was standing outside and Xiang Cheng walked in. The three people in the room first startled, before they all rose to their feet. Xiang Cheng did not speak. His hands were bound with a pair of glowing, enchanted cuffs. He slowly walked to Zhi Xiaoduo's side. He lowered his head, the bridge of his nose pressing against Zhi Xiaoduo's ear, and he rubbed his nose against it gently, closing his eyes. Zhi Xiaoduo sank into a sound sleep as his eyelids twitched a little. The music grew quieter, drifting down like a sky filled with snowflakes, enveloping all the memories of them together. The gramophone glowed with a faint white light as every broken piece of memory was sealed away by the odd talisman, winking as they floated through the sea of consciousness. Xiang Cheng knelt in front of Zhi Xiaoduo, his two hands gripping one of Zhi Xiaoduo's. A moment later, he rose slowly to his feet, turning to Chen Zhen. Chen Zhen, Xiang Cheng said, looking back. I have one thing to beg of you. Chen Zhen looked at Xiang Cheng and replied, I will do my best. I'll leave Xiaoduo to you. I'm afraid that people may try to kidnap him, Xiang Cheng said. As they spoke, Xiang Cheng walked forward, moving close to Chen Zhen's ear. Chen Zhen turned his head, just about to chat with him quietly, but in that single moment, Xiang Cheng suddenly lifted a leg and hooked it around. Chen Zhen was caught off guard, and Xiang Cheng's hands wrapped around his throat. Everything had happened too quickly, and it was only afterwards that Lin Yura turned and pulled out her golden beads. Xiang Cheng had already turned into a roaring ball of black qi, which burst through the roof of the villa, enveloping Chen Zhen within it as it charged right out. We will meet again someday, Xiang Cheng said, before tossing Chen Zhen aside. Lin Yura was afraid of hurting Chen Zhen, so she had no choice but to call back her golden beads. After him. Lin Yura bellowed angrily. What are you staring at? Kita. It was only with that Kita and Zhou Wanyuan came back to their senses, and they raced outside. At the same time, outside the exorcism department, the penants along the banks of the Yellow River all changed at once, turning into coiling dragons of crimson, red, white, green, and gold, which came rushing towards the huge boss snake that was spewing black qi. The boss snake let out a roar of pain, which startled all of the exorcists and sent them rushing out. Right after that, the boss snake charged into the water, only for the waters of the Yellow River to suddenly rush backwards and form a huge wall of water. Lin Yura pushed out with her palms, and she held it in place from afar. A pair of blood-red snake eyes shone from within the pitch-black wall of water, before all of the pennant dragons were swept away into the river, where they vanished. 3 seconds later, 1 li away, the boss snake called down the black qi filling the air, shaping them into a pair of wings, which carried it into the sky. It vanished without a trace. Zhi Xiaoduo was still sleeping soundly. He was having a long, sweet dream, and the corners of his mouth quirked upward slightly. Beethoven's Pathetic was still playing. Its melody flowed into the distance, echoing through the air. The sound of the piano and the music of the water collided and carried on the wind that washed over both banks of the Yellow River, just like those prayer flags that had flown high in the sky. Many things and many people seemed to have remained in that place, unchanging from the moment that the heavens and earth had been split into two. Destiny was illusory and intangible but was also very unshakable. The boundless power of cause and effect moved both the divine and earth veins, which brought with them the souls of every living being in this world, forming the endless roar of an ever-turning huge wheel, never ceasing in its motion. End chapter. Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Chapter 73. Point of Origin. January 1, 2016, Guangzhou. It was a warm winter. Although it had drizzled several times before New Year's Eve, moistening this southern city, the cold front did not come, and the world was a warm winter scene. The flowers of the Ram City bloomed gently and brightly, and the subway was as crowded as ever, the market was as prosperous as ever, and traffic was as jammed as ever. The big stalls in Tangxia were still noisy and joyful, the speakers of the urban area were still thunderously blasting away, and Team Plaza was bustling as always. And Zhiziaduo was, as always, a single dog. 10, 9, 8, 7. Happy New Year! Zhiziaduo stood at the foot of Guangzhou Tower and cheered along with the crowd celebrating the New Year. On New Year's Eve, Guangzhou Tower blossomed with magnificent glory. Happy New Year! Zhiziaduo smiled and shouted at everyone, whether he knew them or not. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Xiang Cheng had walked a long way in the snow, exhausted, and finally ended up falling into the snow. A man in a white cloak walked towards him from afar. At that moment, in Xiang Cheng's eyes, countless warm scenes flashed past, and he finally sank into the darkness. On the snowy mountain, the light of the campfire reflected against Xiang Cheng's face. He woke up and subconsciously touched the ring on the root of his ring finger with his thumb. After finding that it was still there, he relaxed. He breathed out and sat up with some difficulty. His hair was a mess, he hadn't shaved for a long time, and he hadn't eaten for 3 days. The young man put an empty can on the fire and began to roast the dace fish with black bean sauce. Strange devilish patterns were present across the side of his face. Let me introduce myself. My name is Feng Li, Happy New Year. The boy said, Boss Snake, I have found you at last. I won't go back with you guys. Xiang Cheng said. The young man said, where else can you go except to return to the sacred land? The human world is searching for you everywhere, and your name is already on the internal wanted list of the exorcism department. They want to completely remove your seed of Mara and Snake Han before Mara rises a year from now. Meanwhile, the sacred land is also going all out to find you. Xiang Cheng was silent. If you don't want to go back. The young man said, I have prepared a way, but I want to hear what you are thinking. However, I suggest that it's best to go back and be loyal to Mara, otherwise, your wish will be difficult to achieve. Why should I believe you? Xiang Cheng asked. The boy took off his cloak, revealing his outer appearance to be identical to that of Hu Ziniang's. Xiang Cheng narrowed his eyes and frowned. The young man said, 400 years ago, the Nine Tails won my face with a bet. For a long time, I had no face. It's a long story, when we get to know each other more, I'll tell it slowly. Why do you want to find the 6 weapons of Akala? The young man asked. If I remember correctly, Mara is very afraid of the Xiang family. I believe your hatred is not directed towards the Exorcist Committee nor your mother or your father. You just want to kill Mara, right? Xiang Cheng said coldly, who else knows about this? Nobody knows. The young man said, I guessed it, I'm taking a big risk leaving the sacred land. Xiang Cheng's heart let out black chi and he hesitated for a moment. The young man said, you can choose to kill me at any time, or you can choose to trust me. The choice is yours. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In front of Guangzhou Tower. Happy New Year. A long line of people, shoulder to shoulder, drove their train through the crowd. Everyone moved slowly towards the exit. The road was so jammed that even water wouldn't be able to flow through. After Zhiziaduo was done shouting Happy New Year, He put on his headphones, went to find his bike and went home. After 27 years of life, I still haven't found a boyfriend. Ah. Zhi Xiaoduo was going crazy. Another year had passed and he still didn't have a boyfriend. What exactly had he been born for? He would need to scrounge one up next year Zhi Xiaoduo made up his mind that no matter who Wang Ren introduced to him this time, he must go to bed with them, or else no one would like him once he got old. Wang Ren called and said, "Happy New Year." "Happy New Year." Zhi Xiaoduo rode his bicycle along slowly, avoiding the people walking in the bicycle lane as he moved forward carefully. "Can you work overtime tomorrow?" Wang Ren asked. "It's the end of the year, and it's too busy." "Kikai asked me out for tea," Zhi Xiaoduo said, "to introduce me to a boyfriend." Wang Ren said, "Then come and help me look at the diagrams after you're done drinking your tea." Zhi Xiaoduo had no choice but to perfunctorily agree. After passing the certification exam, he had gone to Beijing for a visit. When he came back, his heart ran wild and he always wanted to run away, but he didn't know where to go. If he had a boyfriend, how nice would it be to go to all kinds of tourist attractions, all over China and all over the world with him But wouldn't his boyfriend have to go to work? Zhi Xiaoduo thought, it's very difficult in this time and age to find a boyfriend who doesn't have to worry about food and drink, has plenty of free time, is about 182 centimeters tall, likes reading, has a well-muscled body, loves exercise, is out of the closet, isn't in a sham or lavender marriage, has a bachelor's degree or above, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, has a car, has a house and can cook. Last time I also went to Beijing alone, so why did I have a good time in Beijing yet felt lonely once I came back to Guangzhou? Zhi Xiaoduo turned it over in his head and he could only attribute it to the fact that spring was coming, and his genes made him urgently need to find a companion. Zhi Xiaoduo returned home and sent text messages one by one to greet his friends and wish them a happy new year. Qi Wei called and reminded him to come over for the blind date tomorrow. Zhi Xiaoduo said okay, and at the same time made a good wish. He hoped that the other party would have a heroic brow, a tall nose, a healthy wheat-colored complexion, well-defined lips, a sexy Adam's apple, and deep-set eyes. Oddly enough, Zhi Xiaoduo had a vague image in his mind. He felt like that was his ideal boyfriend, so was this the rumored standard of the legendary dream lover? The next day. "This is Xian Hezi." Qi Wei smiled and said, "Zhi, this is Xiaoduo." Xian Hezi smiled and nodded at Zhi Xiaoduo. He put his bag on the seat and he was wearing a dusty camo outfit and gloves. Zhi Xiaoduo's first impression was, wow, so handsome, like a soldier gur, with thick eyebrows and big eyes and a warm smile. However, he wasn't his type. His bestie winked at Zhi Xiaoduo, her eyes asking, "Do you like him?" Zhi Xiaoduo thought for a moment, and the corners of his mouth twitched. He quickly waved his hand while Xian Hezi was looking at his cell phone. His bestie and Zhi Xiaoduo sat on one side, while Qi Wei and Xian Hezi sat on the other side. The two sides were at a stalemate. Zhi Xiaoduo thought, this is so embarrassing. "Are you a soldier?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. "I wanted to be a soldier when I was little." Xian Hezi took off his hat, smoothed down his hair and with an uninhibited, heroic smile on his face, said, "I didn't manage to become one though." Zhi Xiaoduo nodded, and Xian Hezi asked, "What do you do?" Zhi Xiaoduo replied, "I work in construction business as a water supply and drainage engineer." Xian Hezi said with sincere admiration, "So great, I look up to you architecture types the most." Zhi Xiaoduo. "Bestie. The engineers of the motherland," Xian Hezi said, "the development of the country depends all on you guys. It's amazing. Engineers have worked hard and made great achievements, and now Guangzhou is developing well. Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, and even though the housing prices in your Guangzhou are lower, it couldn't have been done without you construction-type people. Qi Wei immediately disassociated himself from Xian Hezi by saying, we met on the high-speed rail. Xianxiang just happened to sit next to me and we chatted for a while. Xianxiang is a talented man and it just so happens we could all have dinner today. Oh bestie, and Zhi Xiaoduo both nodded, thinking, bootlicker, bootlicker. Bestie and Zhi Xiaoduo studied the menu together. The two sides grew cold again, and Qi Wei took a call while Xian Hezi said to Zhi Xiaoduo, your cell phone, right? Zhi Xiaoduo nodded. Xian Hezi said, you're really rich. Zhi Xiaoduo gritted his teeth and asked, how many days are you going to stay in Guangzhou? Xian Hezi said, at least 2 or 3 years ba, I like to wander around. I'm trying to rent a house and find a job. Do you have a spot over where you live? Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhi Xiaoduo didn't know how to refuse people, and Qi Wei couldn't stand it anymore. He coughed and said, Xiaoduo, could you please help find out for him? Oh, okay. Zhi Xiaoduo said, do you have any price requirements? The cheaper the better. Xian Hezi replied, the food money for next month hasn't arrived yet. Where do you usually eat? At home. At my department. Zhi Xiaoduo said, I have lunch at work, and it's been so busy at the end of the year, so dinner is also taken care of that way. Xian Hezi said, oh. Can outsiders also go to your canteen? The volcanoes in Zhi Xiaoduo and his bestie's hearts both exploded. Zhi Xiaoduo struggled mightily to not get angry or laugh, and said, I can buy a meal ticket. Xian Hezi said, the food in Guangzhou is too expensive. They hired an auntie to cook for us. Zhi Xiaoduo still hadn't given up on trying here and asked, can you cook? Boys who could cook well were the hottest. However, Xian Hezi thought for a while and said, I've never done it before, but I can try. His bestie immediately exploded and said, can you just randomly try something like that? You'll kill someone with that food, okay. Zhi Xiaoduo couldn't help it at last, just lying on the table and laughing the entire time. Xian Hezi said in confusion, what are you laughing at? Zhi Xiaoduo waved his hand and said, you're so funny. After the meal, Qi Wei snapped his fingers to get someone to bring the bill. Xian Hezi hurriedly said, I'll get it, and tried to grab the bill. Zhi Xiaoduo suddenly felt that he could still interact with him, however, even though Xian Hezi said I'll get it, he didn't actually do anything. The waiter put the bill in front of him and Xian Hezi looked at it for a long time, fumbled around in his bag, searching back and forth, looking for something for almost 3 minutes. Zhi Xiaoduo said thoughtfully, I'll get it ba. Qi Wei couldn't keep watching this and reached for the bill. Xian Hezi hurriedly said, I'll get it, do you guys take card? The waiter said, yes. Qi Wei was too lazy to talk nonsense with Xian Hezi, and he tossed a ICBC black card to the waiter. Xian Hezi laughed and punched Qi Wei in the arm. Zhi Xiaoduo went to answer Wang Ren's call while his bestie went to the bathroom. Xian Hezi reached his hand into his bag and said with a smile, Qi Xiang, I didn't use my money for the bill, so I feel like I should give that to you for now ba. Keep it ba, Qi Wei said, wanting to cry without tears, putting his hand on his forehead. Then I'll keep it for now. Next time we're free, I'll invite him out to eat, Xian Hezi said. Qi Wei. Xian Hezi sent Zhi Xiaoduo all the way home, and Zhi Xiaoduo said, it was very nice meeting you. Xian Hezi looked up at the neighborhood and said, it's pretty high class, your house is a 2-bedroom 1 living room 1, right? Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhi Xiaoduo thought, it's better to run away fast, then lied, it's a 1-bedroom. It's getting late, so I won't invite you inside for tea. No problem, Xian Hezi said. Zhi Xiaoduo had just let out a breath when unexpectedly, Xian Hezi followed that up with, it's only 10 right now. I've just arrived at Guangzhou, and I have nowhere to go, so it's fine if I come up and sit for a bit. No, no, Zhi Xiaoduo said hurriedly, my dad is at home. Oh. Xian Hezi said, isn't your dad out of the country? Zhi Xiaoduo said, he came back these past few days to see me. Xian Hezi just had to drop it and said, then I'll stay at a hostel nearby ba. Are there any cheaper ones? Zhi Xiaoduo thought, damn it, he's even carrying his luggage on him. So risky. So, he took him to a small hotel nearby and booked him a room. Xian Hezi again rummaged through his bag for a long time, and Zhi Xiaoduo quickly counted out 500 yuan to give to the front desk for 2 days. Anyway, he had wanted to pay the bill for dinner, so he could think of the 500 yuan as one meal. Go back ba, Xian Hezi said, I'll just rest now. Zhi Xiaoduo said goodbye to him with tears in his eyes and thought, that was too mystifying. After he got back home, Zhi Xiaoduo discovered that a bird was once again squatting on his window sill. This bird had been here several times already, and every time, it jumped around on the balcony. Maybe it was cold, and it had no place to go. Every time, Zhi Xiaoduo would give it something to eat, but this time after he thought about it and he let it in. Don't poop everywhere. Zhi Xiaoduo said to the beautiful bird, I'll make a nest out of this for you. Zhi Xiaoduo put a scarf in a wooden box that used to hold fruit and put the bird in it. The bird was very gentle and didn't fuss, just snuggling into the wooden box and falling asleep. Chi Wei called Zhi Xiaoduo and said, I'm sorry I didn't know that guy surnamed Xian was such a weirdo. Zhi Xiaoduo hurriedly replied, it's alright, do you need to find him a house? Don't mind him. Chi Wei answered, then thought about it and said, let's just find him a room ba and let him pay for it. Zhi Xiaoduo answered okay, then hung up. Wang Ren then called again. You must come and look at diagrams for me tomorrow. Wang Ren said, how was your blind date today? Zhi Xiaoduo let out an N and told him that he'd give him the gossip later. Wang Ren said, I had a drink with a real estate agent today, and I met his aristocratic nephew, a really hot guy. Guess what? He's also gay and wears an earring. He even met with me privately to ask me to introduce him to a show. It's weird that he sensed that Lao Zi is also gay, but come here early tomorrow, clean up a bit, and we'll have dinner together in the evening. Zhi Xiaoduo asked, is he rich? Completely tall, hot, and rich. Wang Ren said, you have to clean yourself up and look good Lao Zi's project depends on you. Zhi Xiaoduo, damn it. Say that again. Wang Ren accidentally let that slip, so he hurriedly said, hanging up now, good night. Then he quickly hung up the phone. The next night. I liked you as soon as I saw you. The handsome, golden, temperamental man in a suit, who was nearly 1.9 meters tall, with nicks and bruises from shaving, electric eyes, a tall nose, well-defined lips and a touch of cologne, said to Zhi Xiaoduo seriously. Zhi Xiaoduo. Come. Wang Ren said, this is Zhi Xiaoduo, and this is Gugla Torura. Gagan Torura Kita. The man introduced himself. Yes. Wang Ren laughed and said, what a terrible memory I have. All right, it's none of your business. Kita sent Wang Ren off and said, go back and work ba, President Kong will call you tomorrow. Okay. Wang Ren winked at Zhi Xiaoduo, meaning take good care of him, yeah. Zhi Xiaoduo. Kita had 2 hands behind his back, placed them on the sofa, tilted his feet, and looked at Zhi Xiaoduo with a smile. He had an expression of I like you, written all over his face. So hot. Zhi Xiaoduo thought to himself, but he feels a little gay. It's not that too girl gay, but the feel of being so manly that instead, he seems gay. How does the saying goes again? When things reach their extremes, they will turn against each other, so manliness must be gay. Hello. Ji Xiaoduo suddenly felt that this man looked familiar, like someone who he had met before but he couldn't remember who. So hot, just like those overbearing presidents who fall in love with the hero in my romantic novels. But he's also not my type. Kita flirtily blew a kiss at Ji Xiaoduo, patted the seat beside him with one hand, and said, "Sit here." The waiter came to pour water and glanced at them. Ji Xiaoduo thought, if I sit next to you and get cuddled by you, I can never come to this restaurant again. But even if he didn't sit there, the restaurant cost an average of 2,000 per person, so he would never come himself. Are you an ethnic minority? I'm Mongolian. Kita said, what do you want to eat? Feel free to order anything, I can pay. Ji Xiaoduo. Then I won't hold back. Ji Xiaoduo ordered stuff that he liked to eat and handed the menu to Kita. Kita said, when shall we register for marriage? New Zealand, Britain, and the United States all allow gay marriage, so you can pick whichever. Ji Xiaoduo spat out the water. Don't joke like that. Ji Xiaoduo said, or I'll end up taking it seriously. Let's be friends first and see ba. Kita laughed loudly and stared fixedly at Ji Xiaoduo. Ji Xiaoduo grew embarrassed under his stare. Why do I feel like? Ji Xiaoduo suddenly had a sense of familiarity. Is this déjà vu? Why does it seem as if I have met you somewhere before? He asked. Kita replied, probably in a past life. Do you believe in past lives? Ji Xiaoduo. Ji Xiaoduo really couldn't keep up with this full speed ahead, fists swinging, falling in love at first sight. He couldn't keep up with his pace. The two of them ate and chatted for a while. Ji Xiaoduo was surprised to find that he had a lot of common topics to talk about with Kita. A hot, tall, rich man actually also went on Bilibili, scrolled through Weibo, read manga, and collected figures. What else do you like to do besides these? Ji Xiaoduo asked. Nothing. Kita said, I'm most afraid of people making me do stuff. I'm an Aquarius, and I hate arrangements. I used to work in a government department, but it nearly killed me. You know, I'm the sort of person who likes to stay at home, watch animations, and play games. Making me act as a leader, it's too painful. Fortunately, I'm free now. You're so rich, but you still have to work in a government department. Ji Xiaoduo asked curiously. Family reasons. Kita said, someone has to take care of it. And now? Ji Xiaoduo said, have you resigned? To be exact, they gave me a break from combat duty. Kita said, but I'm going to take advantage of this break and run away quickly. Ji Xiaoduo imagined a seal flying out of his heart, and he stamped a rich second generation on Kita's face. However, he felt that he was very cute, and although he didn't feel that kind of strong love towards him, they could still try to get along. I'll pay the bill. Kita pulled out a black card. Ji Xiaoduo was already despairing about this world full of black cards. I'll head back by myself, ba. After eating, Kita, carrying his suit coat, walked with Ji Xiaoduo. You're not going to invite me home to sit a bit? Kita asked. Ji Xiaoduo thought, no way, ba. You only said I like you twice and you already want to come to my house, Next time, ba, my house is a mess. Ji Xiaoduo said. I'll call President Wang and ask him to mop the floor for you, Kita said. No need, no need. Ji Xiaoduo said, he'll break my figures. I'd like to see your models. Kita replied. Ji Xiaoduo said, next time definitely. Kita suddenly reached out a hand, rubbed Ji Xiaoduo's head and says, you have to fight on. This action made Ji Xiaoduo feel warm and moved to tears. However, he wasn't moved enough to love. What should I do? Ji Xiaoduo rolled around hugging his blankets when he got home. Can it be that I'll never love again in this life? I can try things out with Kita. We have a lot in common. Tall, hot, and rich may not be reliable though. What if he just wants to play around? Although Wang Ren guaranteed that Kita had no personality issues and just wanted to find a lover, Zhi Xiaoduo still didn't believe what Wang Ren was selling him. At work the next day, around noon, Xian Hezi called him. Zhi Xiaoduo had completely forgotten this person and only thought of him when he heard his voice. He probably wants to have dinner with me. What's going on, La? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Xian Hezi said, the front desk asked me to renew, so can I still live here? Help me renew this afternoon. Zhi Xiaoduo immediately became a mess, and the pen in his hand went chua across half the page. After hanging up, Zhi Xiaoduo decided to find him a house as soon as possible. Just then, Kita called Zhi Xiaoduo. Xiaoduo, Kita said, Aya. Guess who I am with right now? Zhi Xiaoduo. Kita said, today I came out to talk about a project and happened to meet a friend of yours. The world is so small, ha ha ha. Zhi Xiaoduo's heart thumped, and he asked, is it Qi Wei? Qi Wei laughed from the side and said, so you two know each other. Wait. Xian Hezi. Zhi Xiaoduo wanted to find Qi Wei, but Qi Wei gave the phone to Kita. Come over to have fun tonight. Kita said enthusiastically, I am living in Qi Xiang's villa at Hixensha. Such beautiful scenery, why don't you come to the barbecue party in the evening? No. The diagrams piled up on Zhi Xiaoduo's desk up into a mountain, and he said, another day. Why don't you move in? Kita said. Zhi Xiaoduo held his forehead in his hand and said, I'd better live at home first. Kita said, don't get me wrong, the house is too big and empty, and I'm afraid of the dark when I live alone and get up at night. I just want to find someone to keep me company and liven things up. I won't do anything to you if you don't want to. Is that so? Zhi Xiaoduo's thoughts changed as quickly as a flash of lightning. In the evening, when the doorbell rang, Kita came to the door with his headphones around his neck. Task completed. Kita said on the phone, he should move in. As soon as Kita opened the door and saw Xian Hezi standing outside, they were both stunned. Xian Hezi was all smiles, and he said, Director, why are you here? Yo, this place is good. Is it a villa? Kita. End chapter.